right, ladies and gentlemen of the 118 scale, 3.75 inch, 4-inch modern action figure community, I'm back again with another video. And in this video, we're going to be discussing none other than Mr. Ralph Baducci, also known in the G.I. Joe world as Nunchuck. Nunchuck was born in Brooklyn, New York, and at some point he enlisted in the Army, rising to the rank of E5 or Sergeant. His primary MOS? Self-defense instructor. His secondary MOS is martial arts weapons expert, also ordnance. The original Nunchuck was released in 1992, Series 11. He was a part of the Ninja Force sub-team. He would ultimately be discontinued in 1993. And I remember back then I had Storm Shadow. I had the gray and white version, the version when he joined G.I. Joe, and I guess he showed that he was actually really good, and he was doing some undercover work the whole time. He was never truly a Cobra member. I also picked up around that time Slice and Dice. So I felt that Storm Shadow was outnumbered, even though he could handle, but I needed him another teammate. So I went looking for Nunchuck. However, I could not find him anywhere, and that's possibly the reason, because he was discontinued a year after being released. There was other Nunchuck figures released. There was different color variants, but ultimately this was the only one that I believe. Now, we're going to be discussing this version of Nunchuck, which you see before you, which was released in 2016, Series 32 of the G.I. Joe figure subscription service. So before we move on, let's get a look at his card here. See, I always bring it up. Sometimes they use it, other times they don't. I don't know what the thought process is of it, but, it's here on this one. All right, he's a Ninja Commando, codename Nunchuck. Don't let anyone choke on this stuff. G.I. Joe Club exclusive. It says, G.I. Joe exclusive. And in the inscription there, it says GIJoeClub.com. And I'm sure you all can read it. I just didn't want to leave it on a mistake here. All right, you can pause and read that if you want any further information on Nunchuck here. And this is another bit of card art. Then it says G.I. Joe Club exclusive 401. So is it Wave 4, Figure 1? I'm not sure. I never really honed in on how to read those. So before we move on, let's get a look at some of his equipment. We'll start out here with his figure stand. Got his name there. We've seen these before. Nothing special. There you go. Next up, we have his Sai. And I always like the Sai. And the reason being, Raphael from the Ninja Turtles made those popular. And if you knew Raphael from the Ninja Turtles, he was, out of the four, he was the more serious, the take no crap. And, if it's going to be go time, then it's go time. He didn't really play around a whole lot. So that he was actually my favorite character. A lot of people at the time, Michelangelo was their favorite because, he was party animal, surfer dude. But Raphael was the truth. So next, moving right along, let's look at his headdress. And there you have that there. Now, this headdress is a point of contention for me. Because the original Nunchuck, he just had like a head covering and a scarf, and that's pretty much what it was. But now they gave him this, which appears a little cumbersome, It looks like it doesn't fit him well. I mean, it's close to what he had. Got some uh, flashing there from, I don't know where he got cross-contaminated. I'm sure it could be cleaned off. But anyway, yeah, I don't know why they decided to give him that headdress. So what I did was I had an extra Kamakura figure and I gave him that headdress from the hood from Kamakura. However, it doesn't fit. But we'll take a look at those things later. Next, we have his sword setup. He's got two swords. This is what it looks like. Let's give you a full picture there. Awesome. Now, I'll pull these out. Let's get a full look at the swords. I mean, these are nicely done. Let's get them to zoom in. There you go. These are very nicely done. It kind of looks like an Arashikage logo right there on this one. I think that's what it is. I'm no master on Arashikage logos though. Let's see if we can get that to focus in. You can see. All right. So those are nicely done. All right. We got one other thing. And if you ever get this figure in the aftermarket, you want to make sure that he has this because this is going to be a part that's lost. And you probably won't find figures in the aftermarket with it, but check for it. And it is this little pouch of throwing darts. And then it has this one here, and they peg in. This one just kind of sleeves in right here. Trust me, I have quite a few of these in my carpet, and I just lost that one. Man, I had to look for that. I just dropped it, and that thing was gone. But I found it. Like I was saying, I'm sure I have quite a few of these in my carpet. If I just get like a magnifying glass, I'm sure I could find maybe 3 of these down there because I lose these all the time. Anyway, that's pretty much what that is. I'm not going to keep messing around with that. Too small for my big hands. So now let's get a look at Kamakura. Sorry, this is Nunchuck, not Kamakura. First and foremost, he has this sling over him. I guess it signifies that this is what holds his swords in place. I always liked the color scheme of him because at the time frame when he was released, the figures started taking on these crazy colors, and it was good to see a figure being released with a green and black camo color scheme. So let's do a 360. And there you have that. Awesome. Now let's look at the headdresses. I mean, I like it, but I just wish it was the cloth with the bandana. And then let's look at this, which it doesn't fit at all, which is disappointing because I thought this would have been cooler. So it doesn't fit. So I'll probably put that back in my box of things. Yeah, I'm not gonna package them with that. Oh, you know what? I also forgot one of his pieces of equipment. He has his nunchucks. Extra long string. I hate that. But if you feel it's too long, you can shorten it. Not too difficult. But that's what you're getting right there. We've seen those before. Awesome. So if I had to rate this particular nunchuck figure, I think I would go with a C minus. He's done fairly well from what he was as a classic character, retro, but just the headdress and just the way he was overall made, I think they could have done a little bit better. But I like him, so I'm giving him a C minus. What do you think about that? Do you agree that he is a C minus? I think with that being said, I'm going to end this video right here. If you have any questions and comments, feel free, put them down below. I'll get to them at my earliest convenience. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.